Tonight, a teenage girl arrested and charged following a schoolyard bashing in Whyalla. And after years of renovations and pandemic pressures, we check out the regional art gallery ready to reopen to the public.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Police have arrested and charged a 15-year-old girl following a violent assault at a Whyalla school. The alleged victim, a 16-year-old girl, was taken to hospital with facial injuries on Monday, and a warning the vision may be troubling for some viewers.
It's every parent's worst nightmare. A sickening attack caught on camera, showing a horrific display of violence. The alleged victim is a 16-year-old girl who is seen being pulled by the hair, dragged and repeatedly kicked in the head. The vicious onslaught continued as the victim's friends sat nearby, stunned. Police say the alleged victim sustained minor facial injuries and was taken to the Whyalla hospital for treatment. The new Minister for Education, Blair Boyer, condemning the attack.
It's really distressing vision, it is. It's really violent. I can't imagine what it would have been like for the student or the student's family to see that. We'd never like to see that in any of our schools, of course.
The Minister has reached out to the institution where the assault took place.
I've put a call in just to the principal. I left a message because they're probably dealing with a lot of things at the moment to offer my support any way I can.
The Department of Education saying they monitor these incidents very closely.
Stringent and structured incident management division in the education system. We follow protocols around what we do when these incidents occur, who we inform, and then follow it up as the matter progresses with SAPOL and sometimes through the courts.
The Premier also weighing in on the confrontation.
Well, any form of violence in any setting is unacceptable, but in a school it's particularly confronting. And this sort of behaviour will not be tolerated.
Members of the community calling for action.
Brutal, because she couldn't defend herself. She was down on the ground and they were just sticking the boot into her.
Look, you'd think that someone would step in. Instant expulsion. Yeah. Expel them immediately.
The school has a part to play, but so do the parents, so do the other members of the community, and including police.
The 15-year-old girl has been charged with alleged assault causing harm. She has been granted bail and will appear in the Whyalla Youth Court on the 15th of June. It is still unclear what provoked the attack, but police are continuing their investigation. Anyone who witnessed the incident and has yet to speak to authorities is asked to call Crime Stoppers. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Police have released a security video of a break-in at a Whyalla pub as they try to identify the man responsible. The vision shows the alleged suspect arriving at the Westland Hotel in the early hours of January 16, breaking in by smashing a window. The alleged offender is described as being in his late 20s with a medium to solid build with shoulder-length distinctive curly and frizzy hair. Staff were still at the premises at the time and were able to chase him out of the building, but he got away. Police rushed to the scene, but almost 4 months later, he's yet to be identified. If you recognise the man in the CCTV, contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. The biannual Broken Hill Ag Fair returns in 2022 after the postponement and eventual cancellation of the one in 2020. The 2-day event will take place at the end of the month and will feature a celebrity chef as well as other agricultural exhibits.
It has been 4 long years, but Ag Fair returns in 2022 with 300 exhibitors.
Yeah, we haven't had an event since 2018. So we're a bit excited about finally being able to hold it and looking forward to it actually.
The event usually attracts around 7,000 people to the racecourse. Not your average field day, the 2-day event caters to everyone.
There's all sorts of exhibitors. We've got motor vehicle exhibitors, we've got big loader and tractor exhibitors, power tools, clothing, jewellery.
Celebrity chefs are a staple at the fair. Fast Ed and Belinda Jeffrey have come to town before and cooked up a storm in the Woolshed Pavilion. Joining that list is a familiar face in Australia's food industry who fans of MasterChef will surely recognise.
Well, the Ladies Committee organise a celebrity chef every year, and they're very excited. They've actually got Justine Schofield this year, so we're quite looking forward to that because she's a very good chef.
By the time the Ag Fair comes around, there should be a new communication tower near the racecourse, meaning there should be no problems keeping in touch. It comes after a number of bookmakers at the St Pat's races earlier this year had to pack up and leave due to bad internet coverage and phone service.
The council has been very generous in coming forward and putting up something like $37,000 towards the cost of the Sell on Wheels, and Ag Fair and the Foundation Breakin, we're going to contribute the other $5,000 between us.
Tickets for the event can be bought at the Ag Fair office or at Shannon Electrics. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, more resources for older members of the Spencer Golf's LGBTQI+ community. And coming together, Port Lincoln plays host to dozens of visitor centre representatives from across the state. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News this Wednesday. South Australia's Council on the Ageing is painting regional towns rainbow. For the first time ever, Kota SA's Rainbow Hub for LGBTQI+ communities is coming to the country for important initiatives and community connection.
Inclusion and diversity for all. This April and May, older members of the LGBTQI+ community will have access to support and discussions they have missed out on in earlier years.
We're having a consultation group of local LGBTIQ people who are coming together to think about ageing in our community.
These discussions will be followed by an informal gathering for community members of all ages.
Because we're here, we're out there, we're in the country regions, and it's great to be seen and heard.
Jackie Worm says it's important to have these conversations now so the queer community can get the best support as they get older.
We need to be able to help people gain confidence that it's okay to be out and that it's okay to be proud of who you are and to share that with the community.
As the first ageing and out generation, LGBTQI+ people are starting to plan for the future.
It's really important that people think about these issues before things get to a crisis point.
The Council on Ageing SA says for some members there can be a lack of trust of the medical profession and other services because of historical reasons.
A lot of us have lived with a history of discrimination, so haven't felt safe to be out in our communities, and that's led to greater loneliness.
If you're interested in attending the Rainbow Hub meetings, visit Kota SA's website. There's even one in the Mid-North on Monday at Borough Railway Station between 5:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The South Australian Visitor Centre Network Conference kicked off in Port Lincoln yesterday, bringing managers and representatives from across the state. Guest speakers took to the stage, including the State Tourism Commission CEO Rodney Harricks. The conference aims to improve destination marketing for the region.
The tourism industry's finest coming together for a collaborative conference here in Port Lincoln. 40 representatives from visitor information centres across the state putting forward ideas to improve consumer commodities in the regions.
This team comes together annually. This is really crucial to bring the visitor centre managers from right across South Australia together. They come here, they talk about what they're each experiencing, and the reality is the challenges here in Port Lincoln versus up in the far north are very similar.
The conference will look at new ways to promote tourism in a forever changing market.
So we choose our speakers really carefully. We've got some brilliant keynote speakers teaching visitor centres about excellent customer service, how destination management and marketing has changed, how to adapt to the new environment.
The South Australian Tourism Commission discussing the future of the industry and how the regions can benefit going forward post-COVID.
Where the visitor economy is heading, what are the key markets that we're seeing, where's the growth going to come from over the next sort of couple of years, what are some of the challenges that we're seeing as a result of sort of COVID, how are businesses coping, how can we help them.
Despite the pandemic spoiling many people's travel plans, the Eyre Peninsula has managed to thrive during this period, smashing their visitor goals.
There's one silver lining to COVID, and that is that the region's really benefited from the fact that people couldn't travel outside their state. So we've had an awful lot of Adelaide-based visitors.
The EP has absolutely smashed their 2025 targets by $91 million.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Whyalla City Council to host a free lecture about some of the city's most iconic buildings. And after years of pandemic closures and extensive renovations, the Broken Hill City Art Gallery is just about ready to reopen its doors. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. Whyalla residents with a keen interest to know more about the history of the city's most iconic buildings are being invited to attend a free public lecture on Thursday all about Whyalla's architecture. It's part of the South Australian History Festival and will be held at the Public Library on Ekblom Street from 11 a.m. tomorrow. No bookings are required. And not to worry if you can't make it, the lecture will be posted to the Whyalla City Council's Facebook page after the event. After a frustrating few years dealing with the pandemic, as well as the stresses that come with renovations, the renamed Broken Hill City Art Gallery will be back in action at the end of the month. The gallery is set to reopen on May 27, showing off several new and exciting exhibitions.
It may be empty now, but by the end of the month, the Broken Hill City Art Gallery will be full again, and staff can't wait.
We're really excited to see some ideas we've been working on for, I think it's 9 months now, come to life. It's been a really good pause to kind of reassess the gallery's program moving forward.
As well as renovations, the gallery has undergone a name change. Formerly known as the Broken Hill Regional Art Gallery, and while a lockdown did push back the opening, staff say it's been worth the wait.
With COVID and supplying materials, which I can think a lot of people are dealing with at the moment. So we were pushed back a little bit, but not too much, and it's worth it for what we have ended up with.
Funding for the upgrades came through a mixture of money from City Council and the state government, and also some insurance money due to hail damage. The funding helps staff be more creative with the space.
We have really excitingly got a Create New South Wales through the state government grant for some new walls downstairs, which will mean we can be much more creative with our exhibition design.
To mark the gallery's reopening, there will be a gala event held on Friday, May 27. It will feature 5 new exhibitions, as well as a special performance.
We'll actually be having a really exciting performance. We're going to make public the conservation of one of our works from the collection, so I hope everyone really enjoys that.
If you'd like to attend the opening, you can register your interest online. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll take a look at how the fuel prices are faring across the Spencer Gulf, and we'll have the weather details with Ruby Cairns. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf News. It's a sight nobody wanted to see, the price of fuel jumping back up across the region. And despite government efforts to reduce costs at the Bowser, the Spencer Gulf continues to be hit hard. Here's our reporter Edward McCarroll with this week's Fuel Watch.
Petrol prices have crept back up across South Australia, despite the government's fuel excise cut. With the cost of living firmly on everyone's mind, motorists are disappointed with yet another blow to their wallets. Experts have blamed international factors including sanctions on Russia driving up global oil prices. So if you're looking for unleaded this week, you'll be seeing nothing but red. To the disappointment of locals, Port Augusta is once again the most expensive at $1.86, while Kadina is home to the cheapest fuel this week, despite jumping 6 cents. Whyalla and Port Pirie are the middle of the range with prices sitting at $1.84 and $1.83, and the average price in Broken Hill is $1.82. For those heading to Adelaide, prices have jumped to a terrifying high of $1.98. Unfortunately, the average price of diesel isn't looking any better, with an increase across all the cities and regional centres. Whyalla is currently sitting at $2.06 and Port Lincoln at a steep $2.07. Slightly lower this week is Kadina at $2.01 and Broken Hill at $2.02. If you're heading over to Adelaide, expect an average price of $2.09 per litre. Moving on to auto gas. Broken Hill outlets are selling the cheapest auto gas in the region at $1.18. Prices have stayed the same in Whyalla and Port Augusta. And finally, we can see some slight price drops in both Port Pirie and Kadina. Adelaide is selling the cheapest auto gas at just under $1.08. Remember, these prices are just the regional averages and do not reflect any one particular outlet. If you see fuel for cheaper, please let us know through our Facebook page.
Edward McCarroll reporting there. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Ruby Cairns. Ruby, how's the weekend looking?
Thanks, Maddie. Well, there is some rain on the way for some parts of the Spencer Gulf. I'll tell you exactly where and how much is on the way a little later. Broken Hill had rain today and only got to 15 degrees. Port Pirie had a top of 24. Woodna was mostly sunny and 22. Whyalla, Kadina, Clare and Cleve all reached 20 degrees. Port Lincoln was sunny and got to 19. It was partly cloudy in Port Augusta with a top of 23. And Coober Pedy had a sunny 22-degree day. Taking a look at the satellite image now, some cloud coverage over the east of South Australia. It's associated with a weak low pressure trough, bringing patchy rain, mainly near the border. Patchy cloud is reaching central parts, but is only bringing the odd spot of light rain. Skies are generally clear in the west. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. East to southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be below a metre, and south to southwesterly swells around a metre. It will be partly cloudy across most of the region tomorrow. Port Lincoln and Cleve are both set to reach 20 degrees. Woodna will have a max of 22. Whyalla will get to 20. It will be 22 degrees in Port Augusta, a degree cooler in Kadina with 21. Port Pirie 22, a possible shower in Clare and 18 degrees. Broken Hill will have a shower or two and also reach 18. Taking a further look throughout the week now, those partly cloudy conditions are set to continue into Friday. Port Augusta, Woodna and Port Pirie all set to reach 24. Coober Pedy with a top of 26. Whyalla will get to 23. Port Lincoln will have a possible late shower reaching 22. And if you're in Adelaide, it will be cloudy and reach 22 as well. To Saturday's forecast now, and showers are expected in most parts. Port Pirie, Port Augusta and Woodna will all have a shower or two and get to 22 degrees. Similar conditions in Port Lincoln, Whyalla and Kadina with 21. Across the border in Broken Hill it will also reach 21 with a possible late shower there. Coober Pedy will be partly cloudy and get to 23. To Sunday now, and showers are set to continue in Port Lincoln, Port Pirie and Kadina. Woodna and Whyalla will be partly cloudy and 22. And cloud clearing in Broken Hill, 20 degrees. So Maddie, enjoy the dry conditions while you can, because the rain is certainly on its way back. That's all the weather from me tonight. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Ruby. And that's the local news this Wednesday. I'm Madeline Kerr. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.